Welcome to Bet On It Monday Night Football Edition. Before we get to that, let's recap last week. Little 2-0 on the best bets for me puts me at 21 and 11 on the season. VR just crushing 55 and 46. He does still have a game pending, which was his best college football bet of the bowl season in Tennessee. Talk about some CLV with that one. Marco 57, 47 and 1. He has Air Force pending with tomorrow. That puts the show at 133, 104 and 1 on the season. Unfortunately, guys, the Ravens and a teaser did us no favors, so we kind of hurt ourselves there a little bit. But let's bring in Marco and VR, talk a little bit of Sunday recap. Marco, how was your weekend?
It's been a lot better, I'll tell you that. This COVID list, including myself on it, I'm ready to be done seeing anything involving COVID. Obviously, the Baltimore teaser, as you mentioned, killed us yesterday with all of the happenings in the last 24 hours leading up to that one, seeing that line just, skyrocket. And Kelly, I know it's your favorite team, but the Denver Broncos, they got to move on from Drew Lock. I've never seen anybody as inept. He didn't make the big mistakes early on, but he couldn't move. He couldn't move the team, and they were hard to watch yesterday. And I had them as a play, full disclosure. But we'll move on. The bowls have been great. We've hit 5 of our last 6 bowl games, and I've got a play up at WagerTalk. It's $9 Monday. I've got a play for basketball tonight. And then I've also got an early bowl game for tomorrow. And it nearly was a 5% play. I came very close, debated using it as a 5. It is a very strong 4. You can get it for $9 today up until midnight.
Love those $9 Monday plays. Yeah, Marco, look, what are you going to do when you have Drew Lock? I tweeted this. I was not happy about it myself because I'm not going to get a cash my over 8.5 wins now with him under center. VR, your weekend overall, pretty good?
Yeah, I ended up having a winning weekend, a winning day, especially in the NFL. Overall, it wasn't great, but I did turn a profit. Bottom line, I think over the last 7 days, though, I am down. But we're 3 or 4 days away from the end of the year. And happy to say I'm in the top 3 again for profit overall. And unless I have a total debacle over the last 4 days, it'll be the 4th straight winning year for me at WagerTalk. So thank you guys for all the support and for hanging in there through the ups and downs. And those who have been through that ride with me, be proud of yourself. You're one of the few that can say you're profitable long term. Otherwise, I have a lot of stuff to share after we get this game. I'll share some gold as well, even some bowl gold. Now, I have a big card tomorrow. I've released 3 premium plays and 1 5%. It's actually my second 5% play of the bowl season. My first was Western Michigan. That did pretty good for us. This is my second one. Line hasn't moved the way Western Michigan did, but I think we have a good pick in this one. I think it'll cash. But I'll still share some other bowl. I can't give, obviously, tomorrow's picks, but I will give some for future bowl games and even some NBA premium for tonight, as well as some best bets for you guys. Just smash that like button. Show us the support, because that's what we're here for. Our goal is to help you win, not to puff up our egos, not to, prove anything to ourselves. It's more or less to try to share solid information and actionable information, and more importantly, education to steer you clear from all those, losing content creators in the sports betting industry that's out there. I'm sorry to say it, but every time I go down that rabbit hole, Kelly, I just see, I can't believe what's out there. It just shocks me that people just keep falling for the same nonsense. Someone doesn't know whether they should lay 7.5 plus 105 or 7 minus 110. But as long as they pull up in a Lamborghini, someone will pay them money for their picks. Again, there's just a lot of nonsense out there. So I'm glad there's shows like this to keep it on the straight and narrow and talk about the real world. So smash that like button and I'll share as much as I can. and help make you a winner tonight and through the bowl season ahead.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you guys to those that left really kind comments. I tweeted a couple of my favorites last week. Jump in the comment section. Love us, hate us, have a suggestion that we can make the show better, whatever it is. We do this show for you guys, so tell us what you want more of. Let's get into Monday Night Football. Our graphics already wrong because we're starting to see 3.5s pop up on this live show. Pinnacle 3.5, DraftKings 3 minus 115, Westgate 3.5 even. This one's all over the board, but total 37.5. There's a couple 38s starting to pop up too. If you guys remember from a little TNA from Ralph Michaels the other day, he said the play was towards the under. This one's a little low for me to be getting involved, but I'm going to go to Marco first. Marco, your thoughts? Monday Night Football, Ian Book under center for the Saints.
Yeah, Kelly, and this is the problem with tonight's game. You know, whenever we start to break down a football game, we got to look at what's in front of us. And unfortunately, we've got a big question mark that we only have half of the answer. This line, prior to Ian Book being announced as the starter, was the Saints -3. Once we got the word that Ian Book was going to be under center, this line just went wild, and it went the other way into the point where now Miami is 3.5. So from the initial move of -3 for the Saints to now -3 for Miami, the initial move was 6. Vegas was telling us that Taysom Hill was worth 6 points. Now, when we try to figure that out, what do we have to quantify it with? We know absolutely nothing about Ian Book, okay? Yeah, we remember when he played in college, but that doesn't translate to the NFL. Is Taysom Hill really 6 points better than Ian Book? Well, we'll have a better answer tonight. Unfortunately, we got to put the bet in before the game unless you're going to wager in game. And these are the type of games that would be the best thing. See what you're seeing with your eyes and make your own adjustment to what the market should be and jump in either way, taking the dog or taking the favorite. Maybe you'll see that he is a deer caught in headlights tonight. But here's what I do know. You've got Miami, who has won 6 games in a row. Of the 6 games, only one team had a winning record, and that team was Baltimore on a Thursday night in Miami. Now, we've seen the problems that Baltimore's had the last few weeks, but, you know, again, you can't blame them for injuries and illness. The rest of the teams, there's not a good team on that list. I mean, we're not only talking about non-winning teams, we're talking about the dregs of the NFL. They played the Jets twice. They played Carolina, the Giants. They had Houston in there. This is not, you know, they're playing well, but they haven't played anybody. So I don't know how to really rank this Miami team. What I do know is that offensively, these two teams ranked 29th and 30th in yards per play. That's the bottom of the barrel. So for us to think that one of them is going to have an explosion offensively is going to be tough. Now, there is that X factor when you've got a quarterback like Ian Book. Will Sean Payton, who, by the way, wasn't there last week on the sidelines, will he be brave enough to pull the trigger and have a couple plays early in the game and take a shot and try to steal a score? That's always a possibility. Maybe you catch Miami sleeping. And with a total that's sitting at 37.5, there's not a lot of room for error if you're going to look to the underside. That's the only way I can look in this game because we know both teams are going to try to run the football. We saw the Saints last week hold Tampa Bay to just 9 points at Tampa. For me, I'm going to look to this game. The longer the Saints can stay in the game, they will stay within that game plan. And that game plan is to run the football. And last week, Tampa knew what the Saints were going to do, and they still couldn't stop it. Granted, they only scored 9 points, but when you don't give up any, 9 is more than plenty to get the job done. I'm looking at the under, but I'll be full disclosure. I did not use this game for my clients tonight. I don't think I get to the window in this game. But for me, it is under or pass.
Under or pass, Marco, making it difficult on me here. You and Ralph pushing it. I had a couple bad beats with unders yesterday. Well, just one bad one and one bad bet. Kind of a different scenario there. VR, I have I did play the Dolphins. I have a bunch of +3s and even a +3.5 stale line in a couple of my pick 5 contests that I used. So do you think I just hang tight? This was a mistake I made earlier during the Quick Lane Bowl. I had +6 with Western Michigan. Was talking to our good friend Gianni Detroit, and I'm like, I got to take this 13-point middle. Wrong. They got blown out. I don't want to do that to myself again. Maybe touch on when you should be middling and if you think that it's worth looking at the Saints tonight.
Great question. I'm so glad you brought up the Western Michigan, because that's a perfect example of doing the right thing and just not getting the outcome you wanted. Again, we could talk about the result afterwards and all make the right choice, but with the information you have prior, you have to be honest with yourself afterwards. Did you make the right choice regardless of outcome? Here's what I mean, Kelly. You were supposed to hedge that, and I'm not even calling it a hedge. You were supposed to middle that game this morning. In fact, I middled that game this morning. In fact, the betting syndicate I work with middled that game this morning. You know why? Because it was the kind of game you have to do it to. There was just too much equity not to. Here's what I mean. You had a team that was, a touchdown underdog, more or less, now a touchdown favorite. But more importantly, you had the total drop from 66 down to 56. So the market, the sharpest bettors on the planet, all agreed this should be a lower scoring game. Every point should matter more and more. So if that's the case, and I have a 13-point middle, my goal is to place good bets, not to predict outcomes, not to care which side wins or loses. So the good bet is obviously Nevada +7. If I have Western Michigan +6 or 7 on this side, that's automatic. Forget what happened. What happened doesn't matter. They could play that game tomorrow or 3 hours later, and a whole different outcome's going to come out. That's irrelevant. That's the randomness of just one game, one result. The key is, again, to place good bets. And I'm going to bring it back to, not to tout myself, but there's one reason a week from now I'll be saying I won 4 straight years betting sports documented. I'm not sure any other capper on the sites I'm at, a couple, can say that. And it's not because I know more about sports. It's not because I know more about these markets or anything like that. It's I'm placing good bets, and that's my only goal, not to predict any outcome. So, Kel, you did the right thing. Now, tonight, it's a different story. I'm going to lay out tonight's game. Again, the goal is good bets. Miami's the good bet tonight. The question is it still a good bet at -3, 3.5? Here's what I can tell you. New Orleans isn't a good bet. New Orleans is a terrible bet tonight. Even if they go out there and win this game, you can't make a worse bet than New Orleans tonight. Here's why. You have a team that has 3 offensive starters out, 3 defensive starters out. They have 11 offensive backups out, 9 defensive backups out. They have not the second or third string, but the 4th string quarterback, who every week this season, the day of the game, they put him on the non-player list. So they didn't even have him on the roster. Like, bro, you're not even getting in the game. So to have another uniform, we'll just get you off the side. There was no even thought of this kid playing this year. In fact, he only played 1 preseason game. They were not going to play him at all. So this kid hasn't been preparing for this game. So whether all of this is baked into the cake or not, and it's difficult to quantify, the bottom line is New Orleans is a terrible bet because of all those question marks. So for me to bet them, even getting 3 points, 4 points, I'm hoping to be the product of good luck, because there's nothing to warrant betting them, even as an underdog at home, where they've lost more games than they've won. Now, real quickly, let's look at the metrics. And here's what I did bet. Don't worry, I'm not just talking and wasting your time. I'm giving you actionable information. First of all, I gave out a 3% play on the over 37.5. I may bump it up to a best bet. You could ask me on Twitter if I remember, I'll let you know. And here's why. Yes, these are defensive-oriented teams. When I look at success rate defensively, we have Miami, who's 7th against the rush, 10th against the pass. And we have New Orleans, who's 1st against the rush, 6th against the pass. So great defensive teams. Well, what's their over-under record this year? Combined, 12 overs, 16 unders. That's not very profitable towards the under for very defensive teams. Why? Because the market's done a good job of pricing them. So let's dig in. How has the market priced them? Well, over the last 10 games, the average total for Miami has been 45.1. Over the last 10 games, the average total for New Orleans has been 44.3. So now we're getting a touchdown lower than these totals. Hell yeah, I'm betting the over blindly, even with these two defenses, because I know, at least number-wise, I'm getting the best of it. And if there's one thing we know about good defenses, they create turnovers, they create short fields. Many times, those turn into points. And finally, you're looking at two squads tonight that you look, one with a lot of momentum in Miami, who, yes, has won a lot of games in a row. And like Marco said, maybe not against the most quality opposition, but here's what sticks out. Not only did they win those games, Kelly, but they outperformed the betting market, meaning they've won 6 in a row and they covered 5 of 6. And they were never more than a 6.5 point favorite, except in the game they didn't cover. That's the only one. Like, they were supposed to be in competitive games. At least that's what the market thought. And they managed to win all those games where they were a dog against Baltimore, dog against Carolina, small favorite against Houston, small favorite at the Jets. Again, that's what sticks out to me. One team's outperforming the betting market, one team's underperforming the betting market, at least not over the last 2, but at least when I zoom out. And then again, all the metrics, the numbers, the adjustment, the line move, I bet the over. And I know Miami +3 was obviously the steam move. Miami on the money, all the way down the money line, got steamed. I didn't get down on that or have time to release it to subscribers. I don't know if I'll get to the window with Miami. There probably are better bets to make than that. Obviously, I already did that in the NBA tonight and some bowl games in the next few days. But I did get to the window with the over 37.5, but only for a 3% play, Kelly. And like I said, it's Miami or pass, because even if New Orleans goes out and wins that game, it was a bad bet. Just like even if 37 red or whatever comes out, it was still a terrible bet. Yeah, you hit your number, but sit around that table a little longer, and I'll come back in a couple hours and check on you. If you continued playing, you're not going to have that money. And that's my goal, to make sure you have the best chance of holding on to that cash. The best way to do that, place good bets. Over 37.5, Miami or pass for me. Sounds square, but the obvious sometimes is the obvious bet to make.
VR, you had me dying laughing with that roulette quote. I love to tell people that all the time. One of the worst bets in the house. Don't get me wrong. After dinner every once in a while, I like to throw down $100 on black and see what happens. Throw down $25 on my birthday on red 25. But just know that you sit there long enough, and it's going to go bye-bye real quick at that table. Before we let you go, do you have any gold to share with us for this week?
Absolutely. Let me kick out some NBA for tonight. I gave out 2 3% play. These are smaller plays, which again, I'll talk about it next week. Real quick, 555 Memphis +8.5 and 553 Utah -7. Now the bigger bets, 4% best bets, were on the totals for both those games. So we bet 553 over 230 in the Utah and 555 under 221 in the Memphis. So we got Memphis +8.5 and under 221, Utah -7 and over 230, with the totals being the bigger bets. And that's usually almost always the case in hoops. because that's where the greatest edges are. That's where the lines move more significantly. That's obviously where the more variance is because the books have less confidence, and you see how quickly they move those lines. And a couple bowl games, again, I can't share tomorrow's card because it's out there. It's been for sale. People bought it, and there's a 5%. That wouldn't be fair to them. A group I work with bet the Oklahoma side, but they only bet them up to -5, I think. I missed it, so I couldn't give that to my subscribers, but I did give Tennessee. You have Michigan State. One more that I gave out today. That's the one. Central Michigan against Boise State, plus a touchdown. It's going to get to 6.5 quickly. We took plus a touchdown as a 4% best bet. So there's a bowl game for you for the week ahead as well.
Unfortunately, I have the best CLV trophy for Central Michigan. I bet them early, have plus 10.5, and I just got a text that Boise State is pulling out of the Arizona Bowl. So hopefully, I still get a, yeah. That's just how this week has been. It's not very much fun. We had kind of words of it this morning, was kind of traveling around Twitter, but hoping it's Washington State. And if it's not Washington State, maybe SMU, Virginia. There are other teams that probably still would love to attend a bowl game whose opponent canceled or their bowl game got canceled altogether. So I did want to just make that announcement really quick. Appreciate the gold VR.
I'm not sure they don't even put that out then. Yeah, thank you, Kelly, because that's what I was doing right now. Like, that's good. That's good.
Canceled, right? All right.
Because we bet Washington State, and then I found out that was canceled too after. So.
This has just been one of those bowl seasons. It's not that exciting right now. Hopefully things start to lock it up here with some of the bigger bowl games that mean just a little bit more. Don't forget, Marco's got a 4% play up for $9 Monday, as well as a 5% play tonight in basketball. The artist gave you guys some gold. Head over to WagerTalk.com. Check out all of their packages up for sale. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us each and every Monday. We'll be back Wednesday per usual. Me, Marco, Ralph, and VR. Wow, I almost said myself. Yeah. Until then, good luck on your wagers. Let's bet on it.
WagerTalk continues to be an innovator in this industry, and our WagerBucks program is just one example. Because it's the holidays and we're feeling festive, we're giving you $100 worth of WagerBucks for only $49 using promo code WB49 at checkout. So how do they work? It's simple. You buy credits in bulk at a discounted rate and then apply them dollar for dollar towards your purchase. Use your purchase WagerBucks on $2 Tuesday, $9 packages on Monday. Buy your favorite 5% plays with or without the guarantee. Grab a 7-day all-access pass or even a 12-month package. That's right, purchase WagerBucks can be used on everything with no restrictions at both WagerTalk and SportsMemo.com. Due to the incredible savings, this special offer is limited to 1 per customer. From all of us here at WagerTalk, Sports Memo, and the Gold Sheet, we wish you a wonderful holiday season and a prosperous new year. When WagerTalk acquired the iconic Gold Sheet, the goal was to turn it into a modern, user-friendly product providing high-quality content and data. We're well on our way to achieving just that, and we want to show you how far it's come. From Friday, December 24th through Sunday, January 2nd, enjoy free access to the Gold Sheet. Just head to goldsheet.com and sign in using username free@goldsheet.com and use password free to get access to our NFL, college football, NBA, and college basketball content for the entire week. No credit card, email, or registration is required. Check it out. And if you enjoyed the new and improved Gold Sheet like we know you will, lock in savings now and grab our 2022 football Gold Sheet for just $99. That's right, until January 1st, 2022, we're taking $100 off the regular price of $199. From all of us here at WagerTalk, Sports Memo, and the Gold Sheet, we wish you a wonderful holiday season and a prosperous new year.